everyone, it's River with By Jove Astrology, and today I have the collective tarot reading for the month of September. But before I go into the meanings of the cards, let's take a moment to just close our eyes and take a few really deep breaths. And as you breathe, feel yourself connect to spirit, your spirit guides, or your higher self. Just allowing yourself to be open to whatever messages or words that you are meant to hear. As this is a collective reading, not all of this might be for you, but there could be something inside of this reading that sparks something for you. And so I invite you to, after the reading, to pause the video, take a picture, and sit down and journal and see what other things come up for you. All right, let's begin. So first we have the overall energy or the vibe for the month. So this is basically the collective soup that we are all in. So this might be like, the people around you are all sort of feeling these things, or you might also be feeling them. And so it kind of like the energy is flowing from one person to the next. And so even if it's not affecting you personally, it is affecting the people around you. And so for that, we have the Seven of Wands and the Four of Cups. And then we have the overall collective challenge. And so that's the Sun and the Page of Swords. How can we deal with this challenge? We've got the Queen of Swords and the Three of Cups. And then a potential gift, which could be just something from the lesson that we're learning or something that the universe is offering to us. And we have Strength and the Five of Pentacles. So let's start with the first two cards for the energy, overall energy of vibe. And so we have Wands and we have Cups. And with the wands are our fiery energy. That is our motivations, our drives. It's what, pushes us to get up in the morning, things that might excite us or draw us in, right? And so when we have the Seven of Wands, something that I love about this deck is it has these really beautiful illustrations of different plants. And so in this card, we have hydrangeas. And with hydrangeas, when the pH level of the soil is where it's meant to be, all the flowers are going to be the same color. But as you can see here, the soil has changed over time. And so thus, even on the same plant, you've got all these different colors. And so what this means is there's going to be some inconsistency this month and this could be you or this could be people around you, but basically a lot of things are going to be changing. And that might mean we're like, one day you wake up and you've got sudden energy, this spark of life, and you feel like, okay, this is it. This is what I'm meant to do, or this is the thing that excites me today. And so you go all in for it. And then the next day, that sort of spark isn't really there. And so there's some inconsistency there. So it could be in a relationship with someone, where like, oh, you're really feeling this person and everything is well and good and you have an amazing date. And then the next time they're around, you're like, ooh, I don't know. Maybe I think of them as a friend, right? Or even at your work, it could be like everyone is in this great mood and you're all working together towards one collective goal, and then something sort of sours the mood and now everyone's thinking about quitting. So there's just this energy of like, what's what, And that's where I'm seeing the Four of Cups, whereas one way that a lot of people are going to be responding to this energy, which again could be in the political climate, could be at your work, could be in your neighborhood, your country, everything, is to just take that time out to be by yourself. Because, when we're all in this big collective soup, everybody's emotions and feelings are sort of influence each other and we don't know where we stand. And so the Four of Cups can be that moment of like, you know what, I need to withdraw. I need to just relax. Literally, you could go just sit under a tree. And so also too, just knowing that if the people in your life are having that withdrawal moment because of this inconsistency, that not necessarily to take it completely personal, because if they need a timeout, you probably need a timeout too. Okay, now let's move to what the challenge is, and it definitely connects to that. So let's move these two cards a little bit closer, and we have the Sun and the Page of Swords. So when we see the sun in tarot or in astrology, we're talking about the identity. Again, similar to the fire energy of the wands, it's that little special sparkle inside us. It's the hearth fire, it's the candle, it's the flame that is inside of us that makes us excited. And so as this is in the challenging position, it feels like some of you, and it's a big word to say, but it's coming up in my mind, are having this sort of identity crisis where maybe you're feeling a loss of purpose, or maybe it's just something as simple as like a confidence issue. Maybe you know what you want to do, but you're a little bit scared. You can even see in this card, it feels like this one here is maybe he's a little uncertain, and their friend is like, come on, let's go, let's play, let's explore. And so there's something there where there's some hesitancy or nervousness, or maybe just unknowing, as in this fickle environment where everything is changing constantly. Even if you decide one day, oh, I know what I want to do, and then with the changes, it's not really possible for you to follow the path, at least in this moment. And so it can be really confusing time. And when I'm seeing the Page of Swords here, because it's in the challenge position, it might mean like we're not, because normally the Page of Swords is somebody who is very mentally flexible, curious, and exploratory, that is having fun with life. But again, because it's in the challenge position, it's like maybe us or the people around us are being really stubborn, feeling like I can only do this one thing, or if I don't have this certain thing in my life, what does it mean? Who am I without this, right? Let's say you are so ingrained with your work that even if you realize that's not the path for you, that, you know, you're so stubborn because it feels you're fearful, it's scared to take away that part of yourself, because who would you be? And so that's why it's the challenging part, because there's not that mental flexibility or that understanding. There's some fear or anxiety here that's maybe making you or the people around you lose their sense of confidence. So again, if like you're feeling pretty good, this could be someone really close in your life who is undergoing this thing, and then they're withdrawing, and so you're experiencing, you know, that sort of identity crisis or hard time through them. And that's where we have how to deal with this challenge. We have the Queen of Swords and the Three of Cups. So when I see these two cards paired together, it's really making me feel like there is someone in your life, and also you could be that person as well, like a close friend who is that voice of reason, right? Because when we are so emotionally connected to something and so invested, it's really hard to tell what's up, what's down, what's left, what's right, because we can't see all of our options. Our emotions are clouding our vision. And so the Queen of Swords is that person who comes into our space, who's a friend, who's able to really tell you like what's going on and give you some sound advice. I mean, even for me as like a tarot reader and astrologer, I'm able to give people clear advice and help them see through those things. But when I'm going through trouble, like I have to call my friends too, because again, when you're so emotionally deep, you can't really find that way out. And so I feel that in this month, there's going to be a lot of leaning on friendship. You know, there's leaning on community and really being open to talk about it and to be vulnerable, and also be, you know, mentally flexible, where I always think about the willow tree, like you sometimes you have to bend so you don't break, and really see, you know, through the muddle of everything that's going on and the uncertainty. Because also too, sometimes like the answer is we don't have the answer yet, and we just have to be patient, and we have to take our time. And again, maybe we're taking that time out, taking a break, finding space to breathe. Because even though with the sun and understanding our identity and a purpose, it feels like it's such a big thing. It feels scary. It feels like we need to know now, remembering that life is this process. And it's not something that you go through alone. Your friends are there to do it with you. And let's look at the potential gift, which here we have Strength and the Five of Pentacles. So again, we're finding strength in others. The Five of Pentacles shows us even when you are scared and you're lonely and you're tired, maybe you're running out of resources, maybe, you know, you're going through a hard time physically or mentally, emotionally, the light reminds us that there's people there for us. You know, you have friends, you have community. And let's say perhaps you're at a space in your life where you don't necessarily have those things yet. The internet, as awful and scary as a place it can be, it also has a lot of amazing resources. And sometimes that resource might literally just be like, a really great Reddit thread or a Discord server, or it might be like going to the library and talking to them, because there's so many amazing resources that we have at our libraries, right? So there are things out there for you to lean on, but also to remember, if we don't have those people in our lives yet, for you to be that person for yourself. If you imagine that you are talking to yourself as your best friend, right? How will you show the love and care and gentleness? You're not going to hurt yourself further when you're going through a difficult time. You're going to be gentle, caring, and kind, and understanding and empathetic towards yourself just the same way you would be for others. So it really feels, again, like the message here collectively, as we're trying to understand our purpose and the reason that we're here and what gives us our inner spark, what drives us and motivates us, is to be mentally flexible and adaptable, lean on our friends, and really be open to talking about what's going on, because we can't receive help if we don't ask for it, right? And sometimes maybe you do have a friend who has a hard time talking, just letting them know that you're here for them when they want to talk. And maybe something too, like with the Three of Cups, there's a lot of fun and celebration there. And so sometimes it's not just always sitting down and having the hard talks. It's like going out, being playful, having fun, finding something that sparks joy in a way that could be like something as small as going for a walk on the beach, or like coloring in a coloring book, right? Like getting some paint by numbers and, painting them, like buying, I don't know, something small like a chocolate chip cookie might spark joy. So that is the overall message. I will go over the cards one more time. So for the overall energy and vibe, we have the Seven of Wands and the Four of Cups. For the challenge, we have the Sun and the Page of Swords. For the how to help us with the challenge, we have the Queen of Swords and the Three of Cups. And for a potential gift, we have Strength and the Five of Pentacles. So I hope that message has been helpful for you. Have a good day.